Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Prezzo.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, or should I say good evening, everybody, and welcome to kind of the Monday night football edition of the Lunchbox.
Like
Monday night is a fine time to be making our first, I guess.
Foray.
Well, no, you know what? We were here, but it was in a different
It looked
form.
a little different.
We're at Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian. It is the new kid on the block. You know, talk about opening day was last week in Major League Baseball, but it was just a couple of weeks ago that you had your opening day, and you've got an all-star team from P Hospitality. We got Eddie Pozzuoli. We've got Chef Jeff Tunks, who you know from Corvina. And, of course, later on in the show, hopefully we'll be joined by Paul Greenberg. He's also been part of the opening crew here. Lovely wife Christina has been on the floor every night. She's too bashful to come on the show. What's happening, Eddie?
Yeah, she doesn't like the camera.
The camera loves her. Shit looks great. I mean, I don't know why she wouldn't want to be, you know, along with this assortment of handsome fellows. Chef Jeff, how are you doing today, and how are things going here?
It's going pretty well. It's been a pretty, as always, stressful opening, but I think pretty successful. It's been busy, which is great. So and
Can't
some
complain
great
about
feedback.
that. Yeah.
I think this is sort of a diamond in the rough here in Coral Springs, a little bit in an underserved market. So it's just from
What's rough? I don't see anything rough.
once you come inside,
Diamond in the rough for
it's
our
an
area.
oasis. They're finally getting the
Oh, the rest of the Coral Springs.
yeah,
It's a little
well,
bit
nothing
rough
against
around
Coral
the
Springs.
edges.
So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bash them.
No,
No,
we love
no.
Coral Springs. Is this your hometown? Is this where you grew up?
That's where I grew up.
Did you go to high school around in these
Yeah,
parts?
I did. Maybe a half a mile to the west on Sample, the Coral
Nice.
Springs Charter.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
very nice. So again, homegrown kid makes good. I love headlines like that. That's a good story. We've got talk about homegrown. We've got the Florida Gators. They're in the Final Four. Do you have any Gator connect? Well, Paul does, right? Oh, no, Paul's at
that
Seminole.
Paul, no, don't say that to
Oh,
Paul.
I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah, my sister was a Gator.
Okay. You say
but-
that like with a tinge
Yeah,
of.
I don't watch college football,
He's
so
not
it doesn't.
even- yeah.
It means nothing
He's
to me.
talking basketball, actually. So.
Well,
What-
Final Four. We're talking hoops.
That's
Yeah.
not just.
But
I don't
that's
do
okay.
anything about college sports. So
It's sometimes it's better that way. But it's Gator fans are happy. A lot of them I know are like all in celebration mode and going to San Antonio. And I was like, wish them luck. But you can celebrate and watch the games. You got TVs in the bar, right? I saw
we have one.
One,
Yeah,
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the side there.
So it's not technically a sports bar, but if something big is going on, you can.
We'll
Check
put
it
a game on the one TV we have.
Yes.
This is the special occasion, not the sporting event. When you come here,
It's
to
better
any of
than
these.
I guess the stock ticker maybe these days. Although I didn't even see what's happening today. Ignorance
I
is
stay away
bliss.
from it. That's
That's
right.
good. All right, guys. So Eddie, how would you give the opening synopsis of 2 weeks? What do you usually look for in a restaurant in the first 2 weeks, and what have you gotten so far?
I think it was overall a great opening from the front of house to the back of house, from training to hiring, kind of across the board. We got lucky. We had a lot of our former employees from when we owned Tavolino's reach out and kind of help develop a little bit of a core team. So there's, we had an inherent group of people to kind of lean on, or that we felt we could lean on a little bit, because we've all worked together.
Well, it's helpful both from a staffing perspective and from the customer base.
Exactly.
People knew your name and your family, even if the name of the restaurant has changed.
Mhm.
They still know what you guys are all about, right?
Yeah, so and it's a good thing and a bad thing, because the expectation is also extremely high with us and coming back here and our family and all that stuff. So it's great that the name recognition is there and whatnot, but even more so now we have to make sure that everything we do is done with intention, done right, execution is perfect, and we don't miss on anything.
I mean, it's you've been involved now with your P Hospitality group. You've been helping and I guess kind of joining in the management and running of different restaurants, whether it was Prezzo in 2 locations and Corvina. But those were kind of things that were already there. Is this the first time, like for you personally, where you've kind of seen a restaurant go from, basically wires dangling up above and grout all around, and to actually putting it together, soup to nuts? Or
Well, Tavolino's when we came in 2012 back from college, and added the liquor bar, and that like actually started growing the brand from like a very small mom and pop to what it was I guess our first really
activation.
Kind of going all the way through soup to nuts. But it was still, at the end of the day, it was still a brand that we came and like inherited and redirected. So like this was the first thing that was dug from the ground,
right? Even though it's a familiar space, it's completely redone. And we were in here for a show. Gosh, it must have been like November.
Like December, yeah.
Was it November?
December, yeah.
Time is flying. November, yeah. So it's been 4 months, long months, I guess, for you, but time has been flying by. And the transformation in here, you got to really see it for yourselves, folks. If you haven't been out here yet, what are you waiting for? Because they're in service 7 days a week now. Mm-hmm. And again, it's a place for dinners. And they are at 10181 West Sample Road. There is no North Sample Road. 101. It's the 101 block. It's a really nice
little
restaurant row here.
We have great neighbors. That's the one thing about like this area of Coral Springs, as far as like local restaurants are concerned. So it's nice, and we all know each other.
I know the guys from Cook in the Cork, Keith and Dana, and of course Runyon's crew been there a long time.
They've been oven across the street.
Sicilian Oven
Wings
guys.
Plus.
They got pizzas there. No pizzas here. You're gonna have the higher end cuisine and all that. And then my favorite hole in the wall Indian joint. I'm really disappointed they're closed on Mondays because I was gonna snag some takeout for the rest of the week. Arun's Indian Kitchen. I don't know if you've gotten a chance in there yet.
There's one in Boca.
It's not the same. This is the original, and this one is the best. So
the one in Boca is pretty good. But so
it's like rated #1 on Yelp.
I love Indian food, so it's
it's fantastic.
He's a whiz with all the spice blends and everything.
Fat Boys like across the street. I just realized.
And that's his new location. Gerald just opened up right around the corner from my house in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Fat Boys Barbecue, not to be confused with the sushi, but anyway, it's a really nice little restaurant row here. But if you're looking for the quintessential, I call it the home of elegance and excellence, because that's what you're striving for here. And Chef, why don't you describe what you put out for us tonight?
A couple of things from our offerings. This is our black and blue beef carpaccio. So it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek a little bit. So we take beef tenderloin, and then we rub it with a little bit of black truffle salt, black truffle powder, and oxidized or activated charcoal, and then do a quick sear on it, and then sort of get it really super cold, almost like half frozen, shave it a very thin carpaccio style. And then it's topped with a little bit of arugula salad with fresh lemon juice and olive oil. And then we char some cipollini onions that we cut in half and make small little cups of them. And those are filled with the black truffle aioli to reinforce the black part of the black and blue. And then in the freezer, I put a block of gorgonzola blue cheese. And then I sort of create like a microplane snow on top of that. And that comes and reinforces the blue part of the black and blue.
So that's a blue cheese snow.
Snow, basically, on top.
And a lot of times people think, and they see that, and it's usually the shaved Parmesan Reggiano, or this or that. So that's a beautiful spin.
And it's not too much. It's, people are in the camp of either love blue cheese or don't like blue chease. And I'm the love blue cheese.
I'm in the love.
But I am too. But this is sort of, the snow makes it so it's not overwhelming, overpowering with that.
Right.
And then we got some from Old School Bakery, nice sourdough boule that we slice real thin on the slicer, and then bake extra crisp, almost like Melba toast, to sort of eat as the crostini part.
So
of it.
I had this dish when we were here, Lubie and lovely Shirley, and me and Val were here for friends and family. Thank you again for inviting us.
That was fantastic.
And it was one of those meals where usually those opening nights it could be a little bit disjointed. No, I come in with like no expectation because me, I'm a realist, and look, I want to be an optimist, but I know that in the opening days things can get a little bit what you call I don't know, helter skelter. But I was impressed because usually I want to give some notes or whatever, but all the food was really good. And fantastic. I had this dish, and Val is a huge blue cheese fan, so she was digging all of the whole blue part of the black and blue, and even the black, the blackened edges, the charcoal activate.
Yeah,
it's one of the better carpaccios I've had.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but on the same feel of this carpaccio, a little bit upgraded a little bit. The next one is real popular. It's sort of our yellowtail or hamachi crudo, and slice it very thin, and then we top it with we take orange supremes, a little sugar, and we brulee the torch on those. So I have a little contrast of that caramelization of the oranges, some Malden sea salt, and then a really thin slice of Fresno chili peppers, and then we have some Sorrento extra pressed olive oil with the lemon in it, and then a little bit of the Modena balsamic vinegar around there. And then to gild the lily, a little bit of the 24 karat microgreens with the gold there.
So this is totally my style of dish because it is highlighting, seafood, the whole name here, coastal Italian. And even though it looks simple and it's just the sliced fish, I mean, you've got so many different elements and
textures and stuff. Yeah.
Did you have this on the night?
I don't think I did because it has the little orange slivers, and Val has those little allergens. Orange is one of them. So anytime there's a orange involved, I did not have it. Oh, can't take them anywhere. Are you supposed to eat this in one bite?
Yes.
Okay.
So you get the whole textures and stuff: the salt, the sweet, some fresh squeezed lemon juice on top.
That is perfection.
Yeah, I could eat that all day. Especially it's in the now it's getting warm
Spring,
and muggy
summer.
outside. Yeah, it's a perfect dish to start.
It
with.
was sweltering out there today.
Yeah.
It's like pushing 90.
But you have to be careful with this the 24 karat edible, the gold dust, because if you get that on your jacket, the wife thinks you stopped by Diamond Dollars.
This is Coral Springs, not Pompano Beach. But this is some good advice.
Yeah.
Keep the gold in your mouth.
Keep the glitter off the chef coat, please.
No, that's great. I guess on request, can you hold the orange, or is it part of the whole sauce? And
it's a little bit. It's that's a classic combination. You got the citrus. I mean, it'd be great with this blood orange. It'd be great with grapefruit. Brulee grapefruit's one of my favorite breakfast. A little sugar and the torch on that stuff. But you can definitely do without the orange. Yes.
People with the high cholesterol and the cholesterol meds got to avoid the grapefruit.
That's
so
right.
That would be off my list. But so I'll say sorry, Val. I'm going to stick with the orange on this dish.
It is
really
such a
good.
great dish.
Yeah. That is fantastic.
It's
That's
light.
really
It's refreshing. Yeah. I mean, it's just.
I like the touch of sweetness.
Again, my themes here, the words that come to mind are elegance and excellence, and this dish embodies that.
That's fantastic.
We were talking about this earlier today, me, Chef, and Christina. Everything on the menu is special in its own way. Like you've seen stuff like this at other Italian restaurants, but you're not going to go somewhere and get this exact carpaccio. There's a twist on every single menu item.
I think
So is that the challenge when you're opening up Italian? But Italian is such a wide-ranging thing, different regions, different types of food. But you are cognizant that there's a million different competitors out there, so you are trying to put a little creative, different twist.
Yeah, that's
right?
the idea, and you also don't want people comparing themselves to you or you being compared to other people. We're our own thing. We want you to come back here to have that one carpaccio that does it this way, or that pork chop, or that lasagna.
You guys go then the other way. Do you go out of your way to make sure that you're different, because this area well, and I know Chef does his research. He's out and about.
Oh, he's all
do you
around.
Go we're going to be different. We're going to ensure that.
Yeah, I mean, we have some. There's some expectation. Rigatoni vodka and
chicken parm. You gotta
we keep the airline breast and do like a double.
But you do it different your way.
We do it a little bit different.
Yeah,
with the like a freaking monster.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We weren't sure what it was.
We're doing the Wagyu meatball, which has been a
which
huge
is ridiculous.
Seller.
Ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask,
there's a couple of things that people have expectations, but we try to even elevate those.
Yep.
Not those other things too a little bit. So it's been good. We've had a good P-mix and spread. I mean, I'd tell you what's been sort of the chops here have been. The pork chop with the peppers and stuff has been a huge.
I think we had a veal chop that night.
No,
that's been the veal chop marsala. I think.
Yes,
that was mushrooms and truffles. It's been selling well. And those two chops, we've had a good average check. A lot of steaks and chops, a lot of pasta. So it's been a good mix. There's not really been it
doesn't seem any dogs or anything.
Like that, so.
Well, that's okay. I wanted to ask you because everything about the restaurant industry is, location, but you also have to be a good fit with where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess some people are always kind of like, well, this is kind of a bedroom community, a suburb. There is some money and wealth, but will they pay Miami prices or downtown Fort Lauderdale prices, and not that your prices are there, but it is higher end in terms of the quality of ingredients, the execution. Has there been any kind of price resistance, or everybody's happy?
No, I mean everybody's been happy with what we're delivering. The quality's there, and the guests that know us from Tavolino's know that we always delivered the highest of quality. So there's never been that question of, am I going to get a good value going there at $70 a head, $80 a head?
Right.
So no, there hasn't been anything like that. And yeah, it's a weird place, I guess, to put this restaurant. But this is our home.
Right.
Like I guess other people would look potentially, at Las Olas, Atlantic Ave, and stuff like that. And but this is.
But there's a need for it. Out here.
There's nothing else.
People, they don't have to drive. I mean, that's the beauty. It's just in their backyard now and stuff. We've seen some comments on open tables that this looks like a West Palm venue or something that they don't have to drive to Fort Lauderdale or to Delray or to get this kind of atmosphere and energy and stuff. Yeah.
So you got the live music on the weekends.
We haven't started yet,
we're gonna try to start this weekend. Actually, I'm trying to organize a band for Friday and Saturday.
Okay, and that's on the other side of the bar. You got the stage and some tables tucked over in the corner there, so it's kind of got that club vibe going.
So the other, I guess, inherited money saving opportunity from guests coming here is the cost of Ubers east.
Okay.
And, like I couldn't tell you how many conversations I've had over the past 2 weeks with guests that live in Parkland, live in Coral Springs, that come here and they're like, it's $100 Uber back and forth to East Fort Lauderdale or to West Palm when we go out to restaurants like this. So on top of the added time paying a babysitter at home and all that other stuff, you're saving.
Right. So it cuts the commute. So the babysitter doesn't have to stay 4 hours. It's only 3. That's some savings. Saves on the Uber. That means they could upgrade the wine or champagne if once.
That's right.
When the parking,
Espresso
you're in
martini.
parking.
Yeah, free valet and free parking.
You don't get when you go out east. And that's the other thing is too, if you're, again, I live in this area. So for us, like, we're stoked to have a place of this quality here. Like, again, if you're going to go out to a nice place, you make it a weekend thing because you guys are close. I can see a lot of people going, you know what? I don't have to wait till Friday. I don't have to wait till Saturday. I can go on Tuesday because it's in my neighborhood. And we're seeing a lot of places of this caliber start to meander their way out west because they're realizing, look, people want to spend money. They just don't, and they don't want to have to drive all the time. Like,
and we've already had 3 banquets. Tomorrow will be our 3rd
Oh,
banquet
nice.
since we've opened.
jeez.
Wow.
So so that's a
Where do
testament.
you fit that? I mean, it's
private room.
This is the little Vinny room, and that's the big Eddie room over there.
Oh,
and stuff.
okay.
So we had a pharmaceutical group come in last.
okay. Yeah,
Monday.
that's on that other
And Broward
side.
Health,
there. That's nice.
Broward Health Center is right around the corner
Yeah.
here, so it's very close. And then we had
That's great.
a
If you-
baptism yesterday, in fact,
Oh,
early
nice.
baptism, and then we have another pharmaceutical dinner tomorrow night. So it's been 3 banquets in less than 2 weeks.
So the word
basically.
is
It's been
already
great,
out.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. Again, if the corporate community starts embracing you, and again, you're not going to be in lunch service ever, or maybe
or toward the
or
weekends.
you don't know. Yeah.
I need to leave the room for that one.
It's a work in progress.
It's
All
a
right.
work in progress.
And again,
we got to nail dinner
we're
first.
only-
I mean, you got to walk before you run.
we'll give
You
it. Let's see. We're only 2 weeks in since the official opening.
St.
day.
Patty's Day was the first day.
Yes,
Jeez.
and for 2 weeks in, they're doing pretty darn good. For those of you on the Let's Eat South Florida group, where we simulcast the Lunchbox every day, please come on in here, give them constructive feedback to their face when you're done, and I always try to show some grace, and especially in the opening weeks. When I was a professional critic at the Sun Sentinel, I wouldn't set foot in the door. Sometimes maybe curiosity I would be in, but I would just take a peek. I wouldn't sit down and have a meal in the first month because I give some time to work out whatever kinks there might be. Now here, there doesn't seem to be many, but I mean, how do you deal with the social media now in terms of, you've been lucky in that you haven't really gotten much in the way of negative reviews, but are some people unreasonable?
It's we tried to do preventative, as much as we could with training before we opened. That was the number one thing, is like, let's do whatever we can to try to mitigate that with all the training, and it was not cheap to the way we did the training and everything, but
You have to pay a staff.
It-
Basically,
yeah,
no
but-
revenue.
exactly, and
feeding the staff, and doing
feeding them
role playing and everything else. It's a huge cost.
it was
Tasting the wines, all the cocktails and stuff. So I made like 8 plates of everything for
But it-
photographs and for staff tasting.
But
you
it's
know,
one
every
of those
dessert, everything.
investments, I think, in the future that pays
a long-term
dividends,
investment.
right?
Oh, 100%.
Definitely, yeah.
That's we wouldn't do it any other way. And that's why fortunately I feel that it's been as smooth as it has been,
Right.
because we took that extra time, spent that extra money to make sure.
And that's the thing
And
that's
everybody went
so
through it.
You're not-
sorely
and a
lacking.
lot of places don't do that.
Yeah,
Oh.
sometimes you go into a place that is brand new and you feel like they've just,
I feel like
that
they
3
can't.
people just came in
Yeah,
off the
they
street
can't
that
afford to do
day.
it.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, you get to the end of your build out and all of a sudden
You need to
Oh,
go.
your
money's gone.
contractor needs
The bills come.
needs this, needs this, needs
Yeah.
this, and oh, this just popped up, and in
Right.
order for you to get your final, you have to charge you this, or
Right.
So you,
you
need
know,
to get
so,
revenue
like,
going.
all of a sudden, like, all these costs start adding up right at your opening,
Right.
Yeah.
and you're left like, oh man, I have no money to train my team.
Yeah.
So you force it.
But
and then-
that's the thing you can really least afford to cut corners on. And it's all a matter of, having a solid plan and well capitalized, so that you could get off the ground in the right way, because you never get the second chance to make a first impression. How's that for the cliche? But again, in
It's
this
very true.
era of, zero patience social media, it's imperative that you get things right.
And we've been aggressively touching tables, like
Yeah.
Well, that's
know,
the key. I mean, you want if somebody does have a problem, an issue, bring it up to
Yeah,
us so that we
to your
have an
face.
opportunity to correct
And
it.
again, the friends and family night. Look, you guys are all here, and these, that's
No, but
one of
supposedly
the
that's been
first
like
nights.
every night.
But you've been
I
doing
appreciate
that for 2 weeks, and I don't know, this one woman on I don't know what happened in her case, but you
Yeah, but she waited till she
must have
got
cut-
home to say something.
Yeah, whatever. But I guess that's the one thing I always pound all the time. If something goes wrong, let them know about it, and then they'll fix it or make you happy or want you to come back.
Yeah, the
and
last thing we wanted to do is have anybody leave upset. I mean, this is
Yep.
this is not only our livelihood, but this is the livelihood of 70 other people.
I'll be look again. Mayo said this. We came. It was friends and family, or preview, whatever you want to call it. We've done a few of these. They don't all go. Actually, they usually don't go smoothly.
Right.
That's why he literally
Well, that's
warns
the purpose
people.
of them, sort of.
Right.
I mean, it's
But what I thought was fantastic is, again, that's why he warns people. Not even the first month, because you never know. I wouldn't have known. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, we were here. My wife is very discerning. Val works with restaurants. Very discerning. We had a fantastic night, and it wasn't because we were with Michael Mayo. Like, everyone, and we looked around the restaurant. Everyone's having a good time. They were no one frustrated, and because of Val's allergy, we sent the server had to go back to the kitchen multiple times, asking about
Check a couple of
dishes.
things,
And
yep.
he did it on his own volition, and he was fantastic about it. He was giving us options. He was answering our
We
questions.
still had a great meal, even despite her, limitations.
You wouldn't have known.
But that's my biggest complaint of the night, is that she didn't get a chance to taste that spectacular braised short rib pasta dish that Lubie and his wife got, and I
and you guys
snuck a
had, like,
fork in because
on the friends. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
On the friends and family night, I think I don't remember. Did you have a full menu in front of you, or did you guys have the partial menu? Because
I think
we had a full menu,
But
and
we-
some things may not have been there, but
okay,
yeah, there were
you don't
some
want to
things that
you don't
weren't.
want to be repetitive. You can't have 2
Right.
of the same
Oh, no,
entrees,
we
so we
know.
want to get
And that's one of the
practice.
rules of when I was a
Yeah.
critic. I called it Mike Mayo's Bite Club. The first rule of Bite Club is we don't talk about Bite Club. But when you went out on a review meal with me, one of the rules is there's no duplication of dishes.
Right, yeah.
We're each ordering
You want to give the
different.
stations practice
yeah,
on the
so we
back
did,
and stuff, yeah. So
I wanted to try everything, and that night, really, I think
I thought it was impressive.
it was. I had
Like the training, you could see the training. Like, again, we'll go to places, and I try to keep my expectations down. You can have the highest of expectations coming in here, and you will be very pleased, because everyone just seemed to know what they were doing, and I was like, okay, you can see they're going, as we know, obviously, but going out of their way to train the staff in a way. Not everyone gets to do that, and I appreciate that you guys are able to do that.
No, and our server was great, Brian, and he's
Fantastic.
here, and he was very attentive and very,
a lot of it has to do with the culture too. That's built, and it starts on the first day, even during their interview. Really,
Yeah.
It starts when you first talk to them. But on that first day of training, when you get everybody in that same room
Mhm.
and you give them that first hello speech, this is what we're about, and like really, show them that their upper management team, their management team, everybody's got their back and is 100% into what we're doing, and we know what we're doing is right, and whether it be the food, the drinks, the execution, whatever it is, that buy-in happens. And
Yep.
the wait staff that worked for us in the past, I'm sure that them coming back has provided a little bit of goodwill to the new ones that came in.
Right. And teamwork
just-
is so important
Mhm.
in this business that you really want that cohesion and all that. And, look, the highest praise, look, you're getting from the locals who say, thank you, I don't have to go spend the $100 on an Uber rides. I'm saying this place, I'm going to have to come back and actually drive from downtown Fort Lauderdale
Do the reverse.
out to, I used to call it Nebraska. Now I'll just call it Coral Springs.
We appreciate
it's not that far.
It's very accessible. I'm telling you, with the Sawgrass.
Actually, Sawgrass to 595
right
for me
there.
is easy.
People say the older you get, like your concentric circles of where you're going to go for dinner shrinks. But I'm one of those types. I'm adventurous. And I say, if a place is good, I'm willing to drive 30 minutes and without traffic, why not? It's only 14 miles as the crow flies from downtown Fort Lauderdale. So if you're downtown Fort Lauderdale or if you're over in Boca, come on out, check it out. It's, I love new places that are doing things right. And Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian are doing things the right way. Let's take our first break and we'll come back and we'll talk more with Chef Jeff Tunks and proprietor Eddie Pozzuoli on the Lunchbox after these words.
For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat Boys with a Z, as in a... Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of Science Museum. For reservations and information, go to the House on the...
All right, we're back on a evening edition of the Lunchbox at Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian in Coral Springs, West Sample Road, the 10100 block. And we're joined now by Paul Greenberg, another member of the P Hospitality team, another all-star slugger here. And how's it been going here and elsewhere, Paul? You're busy, not just opening restaurants, but also building one, right?
We are, yes. Things at Eddie and Vinny's are off the charts.
There we go.
There we go. So it's been an overwhelming success here so far, and it's really, really great hearing all the great things. You know, the food, the service, the drinks, everything's probably exceeded our expectations, and we love it right now. And we are still building.
And with some people on injured reserve, you've been stepping up and in here every night and all making sure everybody's going home happy, right?
It's what we have to do. It's part of the game and what we love about this business.
It's the best part about the business.
Yeah.
It's actually like being here.
No rest for the weary, and you got to keep going.
Yeah, the
push
difficult
through.
part's like, you're doing the office stuff during the day, and the planning and all that stuff, and not building out. But like, what we want to do is we want to be like there.
Think of it.
Yep.
You want to
And
see people happy and eating their dishes, and I mean all the different great pastas and the chops and the things. What's been the biggest surprise seller here? You're talking about like some of the steaks have been selling, huh?
Steaks are doing really well. Let's see. The pork chop, I loved.
Right.
I didn't think it would be as big of a hit as it has been.
Phenomenal.
And that's been like there's always like those couple dishes that you think of a restaurant and you're like, I need to go back to
Yes,
get this.
that's the thing.
And that's definitely like the big one. And the meatball, the Wagyu meatball has been received very well, and it's it's 9 ounces, so it's like it's huge. So that
and I imagine pastas are always selling. I mean, are people doing things family style where they're getting a pasta for the table and a couple of dishes and splitting
that's what
it
we're
up?
suggesting. Yeah, because I mean everything's a la carte, so the menu lends itself to do a little bit more of a family style of service. However, you can get your own entrees and then split sides amongst the table as well.
That's no fun. You got
to. I mean, you're going out to eat. You want to be able to try everything.
Yeah,
that's
it's family stuff. You come with a group of 4. Everybody gets a couple of appetizers. Everybody gets a couple of meat dishes, maybe a seafood, a couple of pastas. Boom, bang, bing. Maybe
Well, your
you got some
entire menu is
leftovers.
ridiculous too. That's the thing. So it's like I remember we were here and we're like trying to decide. That's the best way. You don't have to think so hard.
Yeah.
You just order a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and then you let the server know, or the server can course it out the right way. They'll set the table with the right plates. They'll split it for you. Like
French
bring it
style
to the table.
service where they'll
that way
divide
your
it up.
table's not loaded with a bunch of different dishes.
Makes it nice, yeah. Hey, so like you were mentioning, a lot of places are closed on Mondays, but you guys are not. For now, open 7 days, and as a result, you get a nice book. The reservations book is full for a Monday night to do almost 100 covers has got to be like gravy. It's nice.
Yeah, the Coral Springs has never been a big area for like weekday dining, and I think that's why a lot of the fine dining restaurants have like shied away from West Broward County. Really, it's more of like a Friday, Saturday go out to dinner crowd. So you're going to find all your corporate restaurants open, but a lot of the fine dining restaurants and smaller mom and pops, it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right. But you're the new kid on the block, so give people a chance to try it.
We want to give the people what they want. We know there's a void that needs to be filled, and there's corporate events that need to be had on Monday night. We fortunately have the bandwidth and the team to be able to fill in those holes, whether it's from the other restaurants or whatever it may be, so we can make it happen.
So, a couple of questions. Right now, there is no happy hour per se, although you guys are open and people are free to come into the bar and order whatever they want. When you guys open at 5, right? It's 5 p.m. Any plans for, I guess, future, some more like promotions or happy hours, or at this point?
There'll be a happy hour. I don't think we're going to call it happy hour. We'll probably call it like golden hour or something, a little bit more chic.
But nothing like a 50% off everything. That's only for insane people.
Absolutely.
That's Corvina, that's in Boca, and that's a different location, different crowd, different.
Well, the seasonality in Boca is what makes that promotion really stick.
Right.
Is
and that's still going on. It's still going well. I mean, again, you've got P Hospitality now has. You've got Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian is the newest and latest addition to the whole lineup. You've got Prezzo, 2 of them, one in Boca Raton on Military Trail and one in Palm Beach Gardens, which I assume it's just killing it up in Palm Beach Gardens.
Palm Beach
right?
Gardens.
It's just
great, yeah.
so much activity up there. And then you've got Corvina Seafood Grill in east side of Boca there on Plaza Real, just south of Meisner. And things been going well there too, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, in the building and design stages is Dear Olivia. Paul, this is your baby. Can you give us an update on that?
We are every day gets better and better. We're getting closer and closer, and we're in the final stages of of everything that we need to do to be prepared to open in June, probably, right?
And the address on that's Parkland,
yes,
technically.
Yes, correct.
7805 North University.
North
Drive.
University on the other side of
Sawgrass.
I figure I'm so new out here. I can't even remember what the highways are.
We're gonna bring in the heat out west now.
That thing that bends around like a giant elbow. So aiming for June.
Yep,
right?
looking for June. We've already got a couple of our key team members in place that will be starting with the company very shortly. Eddie and I and Christina have, finalized the design, the furniture, the fixtures, the lighting. Chef Jeff has completed the kitchen as well. We've completed the bar, so we're really excited.
And you're describing that as what, like a contemporary American,
casual upscale American cuisine?
Yeah.
Okay. So because I remember you guys were focusing on making, like, I kept hearing night, somewhere people can be in this area and feel like they're going out at night, what you're doing here on the weekends. So you will have not only cuisine, but high level cuisine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Chef Jeffs will be doing the menu with us. And over that location, we're ready to do brunch, lunch, dinner, happy hour, late night. We have some specialty nights already that we're planning. So we intend to hit the ground running. And, with all the hype with Eddie and Vinny's, it's a great springboard for us to let the guests that come here know that there'll be another option for them out west. And, as we were saying before, out west it's a great area to be in. And there's such a great captive audience and great people out here. And, we intend to bring that neighborhood vibe to the area. And that's what we believe in. And as well as, it's our core values are hospitality.
Yes. And you can see that Eddie Pozzuoli is exhibiting a core value right now by serving and dishing. And he's got the cheese pull going for all the TikTokers. This would be your bone-in airline chicken breast chicken parmesan.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
And Evans.
It looks beautiful, and the sauce looks great too. I think I got to get in here, just get a little bit of this purity of.
But it's interesting.
Did you try this when you were here? Or not?
I did not.
We saw people bringing it out. We're like, is that a bone-in veal? Like,
yeah,
that thing looks ridiculous.
It was a
People
bone-in
love
chicken
that,
because the airline chicken has that little wing bone.
But it's like
out.
it's a really nice portion. But I just like that because that's the thing is. This is not that far from Parkland, right?
Not at all.
And you are going to focus on high-level food, nightlife as well. But what's interesting is, and we've talked to people because my in-laws literally live like 10 minutes from here. And we didn't have, at the end, you weren't involved, but we didn't have the greatest experience at Tavolino. So I wasn't sure how they take, because we wanted to take them out here. They've been scouting. We're like, okay, never mind. I guess I don't have to sell them on it. And they're empty nesters, and they actually go out way more than my wife and I. Like on the weekends, they like to go out. They'll go to Plantation. They'll go out east. So when we were talking about Olivia, they're like, that's freaking cool. Like people out west are really excited to have more what they're doing with that right down the street, the downtown, you know,
Yep.
and you're not far from it. You know, it's
Not at all.
the kind of thing where people, because we're in the suburbs, doesn't mean we're quote unquote done with life. We just don't want hustle and bustle all the moments of our life. But what
Agreed.
you guys are doing here, I'm really impressed by, and I'm really actually honestly grateful. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I live 10 minutes from here. Like, it's really cool to see all of this happening in my neck of the woods.
And we love it. You know, the guests become family. And I think that's
And it's nice when a place grows up, you know, like
Yeah.
Yes.
because for the longest time, okay, this was suburbia and it was families, but the only options, well, not the only, but you know, the main options were chains and national chains.
Yes.
And it's nice to see that when an area grows up and somebody grows up in the area and they want to bring that level of fine dining to the area, and then the people gravitate towards it. And I see again a lot of, you know, older. Well, actually, I see a mixed crowd out there
No,
right now
you-
on the
you
floor, and
get a
this
nice
is
mix.
before 6 o'clock on a Monday night, and people seem to be appreciating everything. Meanwhile, Eddie is ready for he's ready for my favorite cocktail from the last 2 weeks. Robitussin mixed
Yeah,
with
right.
more Robitussin. I've been doing it every day, and it's good for
poor
the
guy. We got him back though. We got
no,
him
no.
back.
He's a gamer. He could have, you know, 9 out of 10 restaurateurs would have said, you know what, we got to just kind of wait another week for the show. But he is here
Oh, no,
and
we're here.
serving the chicken, and that is, it's so tender.
This is
You don't
fantastic.
need a
No,
knife.
you don't need a
Oh, no,
knife.
I'm just cutting this like this. It's
And the breading's
perfectly
fantastic.
breaded and fried and really juicy and delicious. Again, not too thin, but yeah, you can tell the quality of that Bell and Evans.
It's unbelievable. And when our guests, you know, the words that they use to describe the food, it, you know, in this industry, it's really, you know, it's great when somebody comes in and says, oh, everything was good, you know, yada yada. But guests are leaving here and saying the best, fantastic, and
Yep.
and it means a lot to us because of the time and effort that we've put into it in our hearts, and it shows. And I think people, and especially areas like this, they appreciate that, like
Oh,
you said,
yeah.
and they appreciate it, and they see the hustle and the kindness that you know, that
This-
hospitality is all about.
You know, and I, you know, the critic in me, the Mr. Fancy Food Pants, I would always like turn my nose up when I saw that, oh, a place, you know, put chicken parm on a menu because everybody asked for it. But you know what?
Yeah,
I
but-
love chicken parm.
Me too.
And on Saturday night, and I wasn't feeling the best, but actually it was Friday night. Val and I were like, oh, I just want that chicken parm. There's a place near us on the east side called Camille's. Chef John is a good dude. He opened up about 6 months ago in Oakland Park. We've done a show there. He used to be the head chef at Dune over, which
Oh,
just
okay.
Yeah.
They're
had their
closing,
last
right?
night of service.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, but they're going to be getting new management, new name, rebranding. Going to be known as the Del Mar Restaurant. This new, I think it's called the Cameron Mitchell Group out of Indianapolis or something like that. They're also opening up this Ocean Prime in downtown, Fort Lauderdale on the Intercoastal and Las Olas Boulevard. But they're taking over the Dune space. But Chef John, he's opened up Camille's. He also does a fantastic, he calls it chicken parma John because his name is John. But there's something to be said about ultimate comfort food that's done really well in a, you know, in a high-end restaurant. And you've knocked it out of the park with this one.
It's the
That
best
is-
chicken parm I've ever had. And
It's-
I'm not saying that because
No,
I'm
it's-
involved here. It's legit the best chicken parm I've
this
ever had.
is
It's
definitely
fantastic.
top
I mean, 'cause the
echelon.
sauce-
And sometimes in a group of 5 or 6,
You want to
You
get
might-
one.
you might have that one person that is like set in their ways and will only do
Which my mom.
the go-to, the chicken parm.
My mom
the
always
penne
gets
al
chicken
vodka.
parm. My mom always gets
Yeah,
chicken
Me
parm.
too.
But I
would
can't be
knock
mad at
it,
her 'cause what
except I'm
happens
guilty
is-
of it. Sometimes I want just
Well,
spaghetti
yeah,
and
so-
Do you
beef.
understand
so,
what
you know-
happens when 4 people get dishes? The one person gets chicken parm and everyone's like, "Oh, chicken
I
parm."
shoulda got
You
that.
understand?
Yeah.
That's the dish that everyone eats off
Yeah,
of, like
yeah.
100%. So I appreciate Chef Jeff, Eddie, Paul, Christina, like understanding. Look, we're gonna do elevated food, but it is an Italian restaurant that people know very well this location. But what'd you do? You did it different, right? I have never had it this way. I've never had a butterfly with a bone in.
I never had either.
So there
never
you
had
go.
it either,
You
yep.
take a oldie and a goodie, and you take it to another level.
I agree with that. My friends make fun of me all the time because if we go to an Italian place, I always order chicken parm, and they always make
It's
fun
like-
of me for it.
It's like a baseline thing that you order it and you see, is this
Is
place
this good
any
or bad?
good or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys, like you said, you're trying to put your own spin on it to do the airline chicken breast with this little bone in there, but it's not it's not a whole bone.
No.
It's not chicken on the bone. It's just this one little thing.
And the guests know it, and they say that's different, which is awesome to hear.
It gives it more flavor.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, it does. The flavor on this is fantastic.
What's this we have? This is the house made.
This is the
pappardelle.
short rib pappardelle.
This is the thing
So
you missed
good.
out on.
Oh,
I
this
had
is-
one bite that night,
No,
but
I'm
I
just
can't
saying.
order a full
This
one of
is
these. when I'm
actually, you
with
know
them,
what? When
'cause
you asked me, one of the surprising standouts has become actually
Yes.
this
Yes,
one.
great. Yep.
well, this is so hearty and flavorful, and even though it's not necessarily the time of the year where it's like, oh, you got cold weather, stick
Oh,
to the
please.
ribs thing. It never goes out of season because it's just so
No,
darn
it's a
good.
great dish.
Yeah. And again, the pasta house made, it's just perfect texture, and it really absorbs that whole sauce and the whole just the short rib has become such a popular meat because it's just again, it's you don't have to do a lot of work. It's just
The flavor.
soft and shredded, and it's just
The cool thing is like Chef David, who has been with us since Tavolino's, he and Jeff kind of came together and collaborated to do this whole thing. So it's David brought the short rib and Jeff brought the the seafood aspect. So like both of them were really like dialing in on like what their specialties
Strengths.
are, and like what came out of it was just like
again
a
an all-star
ridiculous
lineup.
menu.
Yep.
But that's
that
when you guys came together, and I remember Paul was talking about his successes in Tallahassee, and I was like, oh, geez, those are like staples in Tallahassee. So he's had his and successes down here with American Social, and Eddie, you had your successes. And I'm like, okay, great people can come together and it can work, and great people can come together and they can alpha it up and get in each other's way. It's really cool to see how you guys have come together. And this is your first baby, your birthday, and it's a monster. Like again, the word is I live in this area. The word is great. Dear Olivia, we're months out, and there's already word about it. I just think it's really cool that you guys have been able to come together and pick each other up where your success. You're great, and you've been able to come together and work as a team when it's not easy to do that.
We have a great team. Christina and I might gang up on Eddie a little here. What did Christina say? Something along the lines of, "Did we just meet the female version of me, or the male version of me?"
The male version.
So
could be
I
good.
love
Christina
that.
and I'll ramble off 100,000 things, and Eddie keeps us grounded.
I just try to decipher
I-
like what the most realistic of those 100,000 things is, and and try to figure out a solution so that we can get to where the crazy
It happening.
place that
Yeah.
they're chasing.
I know that feeling of being outnumbered when it's my daughter and my her mother.
It gets tough. It gets tough.
It's tough, but
No, we've had a great coming
man.
together. Great family. And that's one of the things that
you
attracted
got to
me
put
to the
egos aside. I mean, each of you.
None of us have an ego. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have one. Chef Jeff doesn't have one.
No.
Chef David doesn't have one.
That's
It's like,
great.
you
That's
know,
It's
so
rare. That's
essential.
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it makes for such an easier work environment for us to talk openly and not
That's nice.
not feel insulted when
Yeah,
somebody
maybe-
says I don't think that works, or
Me and Lubie might need some counseling because we don't even talk to each other off the air. We just fake it.
That's
but,
it. You're done.
no. Hey, we got to take our second break. We're having so much fun here, and I'm really eating.
Well, the food's
I'm
fantastic.
eating through my Gila Monster juice. I upped the dosage today of my Ozempic. Good news. I know everybody out there is thrilled with my weekly weigh-ins, but I hit my goal. I wanted to be in the 220s by the end of March, and I did it. I
There you
reached
go.
it.
Nice.
I'm at
That's good.
228.
Congratulations.
Look at you.
Starting number around New Year was ugly. It was pushing almost like probably 246. So I'm down almost 20 pounds from the New Year, down about 16 from when I started this journey. And you know what? Food this good, it defeats the medicine because I'm
yeah, but
still
don't
able
you
to
have like less of an appetite though,
Right.
right?
I'm satisfied after eating,
Yeah, that's fine. You're
just
having
one
bites.
piece of that, one piece of the crudo, one piece of that, and then I've got all the great flavors in my mouth.
Yeah.
When we eat dinner at the end of the night, usually Christina orders a bunch of different stuff. Well, that's what we do. The three of us just share
Mhm.
a bunch of
pick a
different
couple
things.
different
And
things.
yeah.
Beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
let's take our second break, Lubie, and we'll come back with more from Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian in Coral Springs.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Trans World can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them.
We're back on the Lunchbox evening evening edition. There we go. I'm not used to working this late, Lubie, especially sober. Got my San Pellegrino,
for you.
fueled by Robitussin earlier. Hopefully get some good sleeps in the next couple of nights and get back to full health. Eddie Pozzuoli is going to do the same. Paul Greenberger's here. One question I wanted to ask, and we do have a bit of business. Yes, I have a contest winner for you, but we're going to get to that maybe after the final break when we close out. Got to tease something for the rest of the show. But, you guys open this March 17th, kind of the tail end of the season. Going to be opening up Dear Olivia in Parkland, June, which is
Prime
height
summer.
of the non-season. But out here, it's not as much
No, it's
about
not
seasons. Or is it better to just open in the middle of the summer because you just get more of a glide path to when maybe it is a little bit more hectic during when the school year begins again and all those things? Or what's the mentality of when you open a place?
I think the goal is to always open as quick as you can.
Bingo.
Right.
No matter when it is, a special dependent upon, I guess, your lease situation and all that kind of stuff. You can be preferential. I think opening in the beginning of summer, and I think Paul will agree with this, is going to be great because if there is a little bit of a lull of people traveling, we're not going to feel it because there's going to be that kind of influx of people wanting to check it out. So I think we're looking forward to that. Not only that, we'll also probably have the patio a little bit slower because of the bad weather out there. So like the kitchen will be a little bit more controllable during the summer months rather than opening in the winter where you can potentially seat 250 people at
What's
one
been the
time.
high so far in terms of covers?
Here?
Saturday night, did you do over 200?
Yeah,
or-
we did. I think 265
Wow.
Saturday.
Okay.
I think it
That's
was a little more.
And that's about pushing it
plus
to
the
the
bar.
max at this point, right?
Yeah, plus the bar area.
right,
So
yeah.
we don't count seats at the bar. So
Easily over 300.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Good for
that's
you.
and at maximum capacity. I mean, you don't really in a place like this, you don't really want to do more than 400. Or
No,
something.
when we were operating Tavolino's, like when it was doing its thing, 450 was was like a solid night, and we still don't have our patio open yet.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say.
so we're almost finished with the covered area. You guys can see
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
then
So-
will you have misters or fans or
Yep,
things
we
of
have
that
fans.
nature out there?
We have big ass fans.
Big ass fans. That's actually the name of the
Yeah.
brand. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yep, we got 5 big ass fans going out there, and we have planters blocking off the parking lot. Those are
Mm,
everything's in the shipping container in back right now. So
okay.
once this covered area is finished, then we can put the furniture out, get it all looking pretty, and then the other.
Is it weatherproof? I mean, when you get those heavy downpours like we see in the summertime here, will it be able to be
It goes
I mean,
pretty
it
far.
depends. It depends what which way the rain is driving.
right?
If it's going south to north,
Right.
then the driving rain's going to get close to the front door. But any other way, we'll be able to sit.
Right.
At least another.
When it goes all the way out to the park, like it's not like a chintzy.
No,
overhang.
this is
Like,
a
it
wide
goes all the way out to the point where if you're
wide-bodied
closer to the building, I mean,
front patio.
Yeah, there's not
unless it's a
really-
hurricane, like you should be. It feels like you should be decent, especially since you're putting those planters that will block off the parking
Yes.
lot. Like
But like you said, the
It's been a
weather is
good
kind of a
spot.
natural controller
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
That if it's pouring raining, not as many people come
Yeah,
out in the middle of a driving
exactly.
rainstorm. But when it, and the way it used to be here is it would, have a thunderstorm for about 45
goes
minutes
away.
from 5:30 to 6:15, and by
Then sunny.
7 o'clock
Yeah,
out
man, it's beautiful,
on,
yeah.
the sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the mosquitoes. Well, hopefully they'll stay away
Yeah.
also. But you'll get people in here. It's going to be great. I mean, it's already there food wise. I can't believe how much of this chicken parm I'm keeping on.
yeah, you're
eating.
supposed to not be doing this. This
I
is the whole
know.
thing you're supposed to not do.
It's and even with the increased dosage, when I get here's my problem. If you give me really good food or really good wine, it goes right the minute. Medicine is like it doesn't exist. But so that is the highest praise. The fact that I keep eating all this stuff. It's-
There you go. We'll
There
take
you
it.
go.
Good stuff. Did I have anything else for
We'll
now?
take our
No,
last
I
break
think
and
we
let
got to
the
take
gentleman-
one last break. We'll let these guys get to start touching tables and doing their thing.
kissing babies, shaking hands.
Yeah. And then we'll come back and wrap up this edition. A lot of fun out here on a Monday night. Get to try all these great dishes. You should too. Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian Cuisine. It is West Sample Road, 10181 West Sample in the heart of the Coral Springs Restaurant Row and already at the top of the heap. All right, take that final break. We'll be back. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the lunch
When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First class dining, top flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the lunch. All right, we're back. Eddie and Vinny's looking at the dining room behind us. It is filling in
That's our crowd on
nicely
Monday night.
for 6
What,
o'clock
6?
on a Monday night in Coral Springs. They are flocking
Get in
here.
while you can.
Build it, and they will come and serve them good food, and they'll come over and over again. You're telling us you got some repeat guests that are coming 4 or 5 times a week?
We do. We're very fortunate. We've got a lot of great locals that we either know from previous or just met us and want to eat their way through the menu and or drink their way
That's
through
great.
the cocktail menu.
And when they feel comfortable enough that they want to keep coming back night after
That's
night
big.
and make it a regular spot, that is the highest praise for any restaurant.
It's the best because then if there is that chance that something might go sideways, they're going to come to you and they're going to be like, listen, I know this isn't the norm, but this was off. Like they're not going to go to Let's Eat and say, hey, my ice was too wet. Or whatever,
My chicken had a bone sticking out of it. I almost choked on it. No,
whatever it is. So it's great when you actually get to see people often and you get to know them as a person.
Family. It's that whole
Yeah.
concept of family, which you're really bringing back to the
Well, it's what
fore.
Tavolino's. A lot of my friends in this area, and that's what. And it was clearly it was you guys more than it was the name, and that's why I was so happy when you guys were doing this, the Pozzuoli and your Pia Hospitality Group, because you guys know how to make people happy, and we don't get enough of that around here.
The world needs lots of happiness these days. Some housekeeping questions. So for now, open 7 days for dinner.
Yep.
Might you cut back in the height as we get deeper into the summer, or
the consistency is important for us. So,
for the first 6 months a year, you want to keep it 7 days?
Yeah, we're going to keep it 7 days, probably forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is ambitious because in this post-COVID world, a lot of restaurants have cut back to even just doing 5 days of service.
There's no, why are we gonna?
If you can find the people
Yeah,
that work
people to
and
do
you
the
can fill
work, yep.
the
No, yeah,
staffing, then why not? You know?
And if if the team, if we can't give the hours to somebody here, they can work at Dear Olivia or
Yeah.
one of the other restaurants. So
That's cool.
we always want to
Is
try
it
to stay open as
the
much. as we
same at
can.
the two Prezos, those are 7-day a week operations.
Yeah, those are lunch and dinner 7 days.
lunch
So
and dinner 7 days.
here we're
and
just dinner 7 days, and
Right.
and lunch we're
contemplating.
we're definitely going to be doing brunches.
Okay.
The
Weekend
idea,
brunches.
Yep. The idea for lunch is going to be like, maybe we do like a couple.
Like Friday,
a Friday or
Friday of
Thursday,
the week.
like
Yeah.
like one lunch where you can have a great business lunch or something
Right.
like that. Because at the end of the day, we
Hey.
are a higher end restaurant.
And there are a lot of businesses around here in
Yep.
Coral Springs and office parks
Mhm.
and buildings. And you do. I mean, to borrow from, we love Anthony Bruno and Anthony's Runway 84. They call it the Power Lunch on Friday. So
yeah, something like that where
Yeah.
it's you're going to get a great elevated lunch, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, this restaurant is known for being at this this scale. So to try to do like a mid range brunch where you're just going to try to be that place where people can get in and out in 30 minutes.
That's
no, you don't
It's
need
not.
that.
It's
It's
an
not what we want to
experience.
do.
No,
So
and
it's
you-
about coming here and enjoying the whole
And
experience.
this being Italian, you can have, I guess, you get some good proseccos on the menu.
Oh
You
yeah,
do a
brunch
little
would
bit
be
of a
Well,
ridiculous.
spritz
eggs,
and
Oh, my
Aperol
God.
spritz. Get some eggs Benedict with some Italian touches on it. I don't
do
know.
a jazz band. We
Porchetta.
start the entertainment. Like I said, hopefully this weekend.
Nice.
So
That's the nice part of a new place. The sky's the limit.
Yep.
You can do what you want with it. Play around, see what works and what doesn't.
When I feel like
And
like you're a gambler, right? When you get to the track and you win early,
yeah,
it gives you confidence for the rest of
house
the day.
money.
You guys just start and you're already seeing such great numbers. It can only, I feel like, embolden you to be confident in the rest of the things you're trying to roll out.
this we talk about this often, and like we are very, very comfortable with the menu that we're putting out. We've tasted everything multiple times, and it's diverse. It's different. It's different enough than everybody else. And the cocktail program, the wine program, and the service, and just the overall design and execution of the place. Like we're very excited.
You're in a
You're very
good, you're in a good
confident.
spot.
Yeah.
A good spot poised for even bigger
I think
and
it's
better
great.
things. All right, one last bit of business before we let Eddie go. But it's contest time. We had our Gulfstream contest, and Lubie, you were out there for Florida Derby
I was.
Day. How'd that go?
Jam packed. Wow. Look, I don't usually go for special days, and now I remember why. Joe Beja was a very happy man. Gulfstream Park was very happy.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't want to use the word crowded because that has more of a negative connotation. It was busy and there was a vibe, as everyone
That's
likes to
good.
say.
I had a rough night on going into Saturday. I spiked the fever again, and I wanted to go out to the taste at the track, but I still was able to send in and boost their handle from afar,
Sure.
thanks to the magic of the phone and virtual betting. I was on the
You
couch.
you and I both had a fever Saturday.
I was in
Jeez.
bed all day,
You
actually
both look
watching
good
the
for fevers
races.
2 days ago.
But we did have a contest
We did.
winner, and this was the surprising part because we had the restaurant component to end up National Noodle Month in March. We went with not a pasta joint, but a Japanese ramen joint, and the place that I love near and dear to the Lunchbox heart, an original sponsor, Shamuja. Out in Southwest Ranches Davie there. Shamuja was the answer for the restaurant trivia. And here's the part that shocked me because it was a Florida Derby that had, like 4 or 5 out of the 8 runners, or was it 10 runners actually? You figured had a shot. And there was 39 entrants.
Jeez.
Only one person picked the winning horse. And the horse itself was just a 3-to-1 shot.
Oh, wow. Sure.
The horse that won the race was Tappan Street,
Okay.
or Tappan Street. I
Okay.
don't know how you pronounce it, but Brad Cox doesn't run very many horses here at Gulfstream, but he is the winner of this year's Florida Derby, and
Nice.
that means we didn't even have to go to the tiebreaker game of Florida, Texas Tech. But congratulations, first-time winner of the 10 Palm Sunday Brunch Contest, Edwin Murillo, and this is a guy
Nice.
who has been in the contest. But this is the 121st week of the 10 Palm Sunday Brunch Contest at Gulfstream. And I love seeing a first-time winner.
Yeah,
And
that's great. Congratulations.
Edwin
Edwin.
has been faithfully playing every week, and it just goes to show if at first you don't succeed, try again. And the 121st time is the charm. So congratulations, Edwin. You and a guest have won an all-expense Sunday brunch package at 10 Palms at Gulfstream. And if you want to redeem it this coming up Sunday, we're going to be having one of our Sunday brunch bashes with the Lunchbox crew. Lubie will be there. I'll be there. Tony Segreto will be there.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a really fine time, and a bunch of winners are going to be there. And you too can join us. Even if you're not a winner, you're going to get a discounted rate, 20% off the usual price, $44 per person plus tax and tip. It's an all-day buffet. There's no time limits. It's got great quality. Omelet Station, Carvery, Joe Beja and crew do a great job, especially their dessert station. The pastries are great. I won't be eating as many of them as in the past, but I will be there giving out hopefully lots of winning horses. If you want to join us, just email me at mikemayoeats@gmail.com by Friday to get involved. Just tell me the number of people in your party, and you don't even have to pay in advance. We'll just hit you with a check when the brunch is over. So, Eddie, you're invited too, but I think he's going to have to be here. He'll be in,
He's
here for a little
happily
while.
busy.
yeah, he's a little bit busy these days. But it is great to get out here
Congratulations.
after seeing
you
what
guys for coming
was
out.
4
On
months
such a
ago to
great
what
start.
is today. It is very impressive. Keep up the great work
Thank you.
and feel better soon.
You as well.
Thanks. And that's going to do it for today. Tomorrow, a real special treat. We're going down for a rare
Miami edition.
journey to the 305. This is going to be fun. Good longtime chef friend of mine, Danny Surfer, at his Blue Collar restaurant on Biscayne Boulevard. We're going to be
Great
there
restaurant.
at
When
usual
I've
time.
heard
Yeah.
a lot about from the world, so I'm happy to finally step foot in it.
Danny's a good dude. He's a Broward boy originally, and I've known him a while. He has Mignonette downtown Miami. He has Blue Collar that's been there, I think, 13 years. It recently moved to Bigger Digs. He has full liquor now. He doesn't partake. He's a guy who's in recovery. He's open about it. We'll be talking to
Yeah,
him
with him
about
tomorrow.
his journey, and he's also a fellow poker player like
There
me.
you go.
So, again, it's going to be fun getting to talk with Danny Surfer down at Blue Collar, home of the Corbin sandwich. Billy
Yes.
Corbin, a local legend.
His wife
Brisket
handles the
on
key lime pie.
Yes, his wife
It's fantastic. Key lime pie.
bakes all their desserts,
Oh, I think the other
including the
desserts,
key
nice.
lime pie and world famous. So we'll be chatting up Danny tomorrow. Again, regular 1 p.m. starting time at Blue Collar. They're open for lunch, so if you want to come out and join us, you can do that.
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it. Eddie, thanks for everything. Eddie and
Come check out
Vinny's.
Eddie and Vinny's. Ooh.
Come check it out. They're
Oh, wow, the
streaming
parking
in
lot's
right now.
packed.
You can see them coming in, pouring off the streets of Coral Springs and
love
off
Makes
the
me so
Sawgrass
happy.
Expressway. And it is worth a drive.
Oh yeah.
You heard it from me. It is Lunchbox approved. Delicious stuff. All right. Enjoy every sandwich, everybody. Be good.